Good afternoon. My name is Lucia Haulofu. I'm the tutor for English Didactic and Learner Support. So today we are going to focus on few things that you are required to do when you are answering your assignment and things that you are not supposed to do during this course. English for Didactic is a module that focuses more on methods, so to say English methods. How are you going to do this in class? So you need to read and understand this subject well. So when your assignment comes, you will have a cover page that consists of a certain number of points or instruction that you need to focus on. You must make sure that you read the instructions carefully so that you will be able to understand what is expected of you. So on the cover page, you have marks allocations. So for each question, marks are allocated according to marks are allocated, and you are supposed to answer according to those marks allocation. So for example, if you are given 3 marks, then it means you need to write about 3 points. Or if you have 3 marks and they are telling you to explain something, you should be able to give enough information that will earn you about those 3 marks. When you come to your questions are divided or we have a lot of questions. Let me say about 7 or 8 questions. So for each question, you are expected to answer differently. Sometimes you have to look at now the verbs. So in the verbs in a question, once you know the question is asking me to explain, then you will be able to answer your question correctly. But if you do not know whether the question is asking you to answer or a how question, then you might go out of topic. So if, for example, the question asked you to define a term, we said you give a brief meaning of something. So you just give a definition. So in this case, you are asked to define a certain term, then you just give that particular definition. In most cases, they will put about 2 marks, then make sure that your answer will be able to earn you those 2 marks. Again, you are asked to, maybe for example, to discuss. When you are discussing, you give a clear description and then you argue about features and pointing out the positive and negative features and arriving also at a conclusion. So now what you are expected here is to give a description of something in details, not just pointing out that it is white, but you are expected to discuss and give more information about those features. Either you are giving the positive side and also the negative side. Another question might come when you are expected to explain. When we explain, we say we describe something and indicate the relationship between things, making clear the why and how of the feature. So when you are explaining, you are giving a reason why something happened and how it happened, for example. So you make sure that if your question asks you to explain, then you should be able to give the how and why something happened or a certain feature has. Again, you might be asked to identify, to mention, or to name things. So here you are only expected to give names. When we say name, we only want to see a name, not giving a lot of information. But if they say, for example, what are the 2 methods of this, so you only give the names of those methods. Then they might also ask you to describe. When they want you to describe, you provide detailed features or characteristics of an issue. So now you only give the characteristics of that element. So that's why you find that it can only be 4 or 3 words or 4 words, a description. It's like you are giving just a characteristic. You are not mentioning, but you are giving just a short answer. When again you are differentiating, you are giving or you are describing 2 or more phenomena by pointing out their differences. So you are giving 2 differences. For example, if you say this is happening, so you are supposed to argue like on both sides. You give the difference of two things, I mean. So not only focusing on one side, but we expect you to say this on one side and this on the other one, or this has a short memory, this one has a long memory. So that is how you are supposed to differentiate. And most of the time when we are differentiating, we are likely to use a table format, so you may also use that if you are comfortable with that. We have also some general information that I expect you to put in mind before you answer your questions. You must use your own words as far as possible. You are expected to paraphrase. If, for example, you read a sentence from internet, do not copy it the way it is, but paraphrase it. So that is why we avoid plagiarism in English. Again, read the questions carefully before you answer. As we said, look out for those verbs so that you'll be able to know what is expected of me to do. Do they expect me to explain? Do they expect me to discuss? Or do they expect me to name? So those are some of the things that you have to put in mind. Do not copy from old assignment or someone's assignment. As we said, most of the students have a tendency of copying and pasting. So because they have seen a sister who was studying 3 years back, they will take their assignment and just duplicate it. We do not want to disqualify anyone. As soon as we notice that you have copied from somebody's assignment, then we are going to disqualify your assignment. Again, before you submit your assignment, check for all the spellings and grammar mistakes. So remember, like, this is a teaching method for English and you are expected to write correctly. So if you have 3 marks and your spelling and grammar mistakes are a lot in a question or in a sentence, know already that you may lose some of the marks. And again, you must be able to number your questions correctly. Number your questions correctly, because sometimes we have 6A, 3A, and you may end up writing or mixing the answers. Make sure that your questions are numbered accordingly. And also write neatly. It is also difficult for someone to know what is scratched, what is left there. Sometimes if I cannot see something, then it will be difficult for a marker to mark. So make sure you have a draft. Then once you are done, you copy your final answer on the paper that you are going to submit to avoid things to be scratched too much. Make sure also that you are reading the whole book or the entire book for you to do your assignment, because almost every section of your book has a question that is in the question paper or in your assignment. So that is why you are advised to study, first of all, to study your entire book, then you do your assignment, because all the parts are important, not only specific parts are important in your module. So thank you and good luck.